So it looks like we got a leak from Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled that includes a classic skin for Crash Bandicoot. What could this mean for the game? Let's discuss right now.
I got hot sauce in my bag, swag.
Hello there beautiful human, my name is RidersDX and welcome to my channel, where today we've got a quick news update about Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled. But not only do I want to discuss it, but I also want to go into a certain idea that I had with this idea that could make this game so much more awesome than it already is. So stay tuned to the end of the video to hear me talk about that. But yeah, today we're going to talk about a certain leak, and so we're going to get right into that. But first, I wanted to share today's fan art. So this fan art comes from someone named Drawboy. This is a user that posted in my Discord server, and check out Metal Duckles in this picture. Wow, this looks just freaking epic. Like, look at it. I mean, Metal Duckles looks like someone that could be in Super Smash Bros. Like, that's just how awesome this drawing is. So thank you so much to Drawboy. If they have any links, then I'll be sure to leave in the description box below. If they don't, then you can go ahead and say hi to them in my Discord server. Yeah. Thank you so much. Back to the topic at hand. So a couple of days ago, I think, we got an image that was posted onto Twitter from someone who was, I'm guessing at Activision or Beanox, and taking a look at some really special footage or things about Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled, and they took a picture of themselves in front of a very interesting screenshot, and they uploaded it online. Now this screenshot was taken down very quickly, but you know, this is the internet, it's already circulated, tons of people have already seen it. I've already seen tons of videos detailing this image, so I thought this is a pretty interesting news tidbit, so I wanted to talk about it. But let me go ahead and take a look at the screenshot over here. So there's a few smaller things you can notice, like the character icons, for example, are different from what they were before. I don't necessarily like these better or less than the other ones. I think they're pretty good, honestly. I was cool with the old ones, but these new ones are also pretty good, so I'm pretty satisfied. If you look at the bar above the icons, you could see the intermediate is over there, and you could also see 4 out of 8. Now, I'm wondering what this 4 out of 8 means, because the 4 out of 8 could refer to like the fact that you have 4 characters unlocked out of the 8, but it could also refer to the fact that there's 8 pages, so I'm not sure what that technically means then. I mean, obviously we know that there's easy, intermediate, and hard in terms of characters. There's probably a page for like all characters, and then maybe some other specific groups that could be grouping the characters, so who really knows? I don't know. I think the first option is a little bit more likely, but you never know. It could seriously be something really special in terms of like how these characters are grouped. But what I wanted to really bring your attention to is on Crash on the left and right over here. So let's take a look at Crash over here. Now looking at this image, I don't think it's like exactly classic Crash in terms of like it being an exact rip from the original games. You know, kind of like how in that original intro movie for Insane Trilogy, like that Crash seemed like an exact rip from the original games. This one looks like it was kind of buffed up a little bit. Looks like it was designed to kind of fit into the 3D environment more, but it definitely is still classic Crash. I mean, there's a lack of fur, for example. His eyes are kind of less detailed, and yeah, this just looks really cool, and it looks a little bit more 3D than the original Crash. So it almost reminds me of like how Crash looked more in the PS2 games, like Crash Wrath of Cortex or Crash to Insanity, but just less detail. So it's like a little bit of a hybrid between the two, but I really dig it, and this really speaks to like the potential they have in terms of different skins in Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled. I mean, we already had confirmation that there's going to be some skins coming with the Nitrous Oxide edition, so there's probably a lot of other skins in the game that we just don't know about yet. And here's why I was thinking, like, since we have a classic skin, a Crash Bandicoot, we probably also have classic skins of other characters as well. I could imagine, you know, like Dr. Neo Cortex, Coco Bandicoot, Nitrous Brio, if Nitrous is in the game, Nitrous Oxide, all the classic characters that are going to be in this game probably have the classic skins with them. I mean, if you're going to do it for Crash, you might as well do it for like the other characters in the game as well. Now, here's an interesting thought I had. So, I don't know if y'all have watched this before, but I know a lot of Crash fans are Spyro fans as well, and there was a very interesting video that came out a few weeks ago where this guy was able to interview a lot of people on the Spyro development team for the Reignited trilogy, and during that video, there was mention of a feature feature that they used to develop the game side by side with the original trilogy. Apparently there was a feature that they developed that allowed them to kind of switch between the old game and the new game at the press of a button. So they could be going from like this level, for example in Spiral Reignited Trilogy, and then just click like a right trigger button or something like that, and all of a sudden it would turn into the classic level from the PS1 game. And this is a really cool feature, and in the video the guy actually said that like he didn't understand why this wasn't an actual feature in the real game. It would have been a really cool way to kind of give the old fans something to really love in terms of like being able to relive the moments of their childhood just the way it was, while at the same time being able to switch between that to the new version whenever possible. Now I'm thinking, I wonder if it would be possible to have something similar with Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled. Now it might be a little bit more difficult in terms of like just switching the game between the classic and the new version like that, because when you're playing races you're going to be playing with like other people, for example, like either locally or online, and maybe not everyone wants to be switched to the classic version like randomly. But I'm thinking maybe when you start up the game or in the options menu, you could actually have a choice to switch between the classic version and the new Nitro-Fueled version, and that way you can kind of switch between the two different versions of the game at your own accord. Now this could be as simple as just porting the game from the PS1 version into the new game and kind of just playing it through like an emulator or something. But here's a really interesting idea that they probably will not do, but a really cool thing to think about nonetheless. What if the new characters, the new tracks that they add into the game, what if they made classic versions of those new things as well? You know, so not only do they remake all the old levels in HD glory like they are, but also if the new levels and the new characters and the new carts that they add into the game, they also redesign in the PS1 fashion. So can you imagine like characters like Nina Cortex or Crash Bandicoot in like the classic PS1 style? It'd just be a really interesting thing to see, and it would just add so much to the game in terms of like the options you have and how you play the game. You know, you could have the brand new Nitro-Fueled version if that's what you're into, or if you're more of a classic fan, you could switch to the classic version and also still have all the new features that are included in the game. And I just think that would be a really crazy yet awesome idea. And I know realistically that's not gonna happen. There's no way they would spend valuable resources on that, but nonetheless I think it would still be a really cool thought to kind of see some of your favorite new characters in that classic style, because you know, Crash Team Racing was a very iconic and historic game, and there's definitely a good reason why it's getting a remake. It's iconic, legendary, lots of people love it. So just the idea of being able to see like other kinds of characters being added into Nitro-Fueled in that same classic style, it'd just be like a very big wow selling factor for the game. It really would truly be the definitive experience for Crash Team Racing, because not only can you play the game with all the new features, you could also revert back to the classic style as well and just play like that if that's what you want, and you could also use the new features in that classic style if that's what you would like as well, or not. You know, just kind of give people the options that they want. And yeah, that's basically what I wanted to share in terms of like pie in the sky idea. And like I said before, there's no way they would actually do this, but if they actually did, I would be shook, honestly shook. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about this classic skin, and what characters do you want to see or not see get this classic skin as well? I mean, Crash is not the only character that came from the PS1 games. There's definitely other characters, so it'd be really interesting to see all the other characters have classic skins as well. But whether or not that happens, we will just have to see. I think it's very likely that we'll see it for the original characters that were in the original Crash Team Racing at least. Don't think we'll see it for the characters that are added in, but like I said, you never know. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Okay, please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe to my channel if you like videos like these, want to see more in the future, follow me on Twitter at RidersDX, or join my Discord server, the Spongy Garden. And this is Riders, riding out.